What's going on, people? Guess what? The playoffs are here. The Knicks are back. We are back. I am so excited, man. I've been thinking about I can't sleep. I'm thinking about matchups and all that. So we're gonna dive right into this first round matchup with the Cleveland Cavaliers. But I got a great group of guys with me. Got my guy Omar, got Don Juan, and we got Triple M in the building. What's good, fellas?
Yo, what's going on? That energy, that Chris Ball, that's the type of energy I'm on. You already know I've been on my sipping stuff for days late. I have my Bad Bunny cup ready for action, ready for game one. Saturday, 6 o'clock. We locking in. Look, it's 6 o'clock right now. So what are we? 72 hours away or something like
Yeah, we
that? Like
close. We
we
there. We
getting closer,
almost
we getting
there.
closer, brothers.
We are almost there. What's good, Don Juan, birthday boy?
Yeah. Hey man, just enjoying life right now. Knicks in the playoff. Baseball season just started, getting the kinks of it. I just turned 31. I'm not might not be sure my age, but 31. Maybe the hair follicles on my head could tell you, but that's another story. But yes, man, Knicks back in the playoffs. You know how it is, man. New York City is bumping. It's 80 degrees outside, so people are gonna be turned in that game this weekend. I mean, at these bars, but not even because the game's in Cleveland, but at these bars, we're gonna turn up. We're gonna have to find a local bar near you, or maybe one of these sports programs, parties, or events to turn up. Because this week is gonna be turned. Knicks gonna need your support and all that. But it's gonna be fun, man. I can't wait to see how we stand against the Knicks. There's some feedback there, fellas. But how we face off against the Cavaliers. I mean, these Knicks, man. I'm really excited. I'm really pumped. I mean, the stage is set. It's moving personified, and I can't wait to get the show on the road.
For sure, for sure. And it's gonna be popping everywhere. Whether it's the bars, whether it's at funerals, it's gonna be popping. They're gonna be popping. You know how it is in New York City. You know how we get down. It don't matter where
Yes,
it's at.
sir.
It's gonna be wild. Omar, what's good, my man? How you feeling right now?
I'm feeling great, man. It's hard being a Knick fan, as all four of us, excuse me, can attest to. But moments like these are why we stick with this team, right? New York City is gonna be great. I'm over in Detroit, but I'm repping on the long range for you guys. But yeah, can't wait for the series to start on Saturday, man. And let's get these wins, right?
For sure, for sure. And
Yes, sir.
we last season was a bit of a roller coaster season on up and down. We didn't make the playoffs and all that. But before we get into this, obviously there was kind of expectations for the season were kind of wide and all that. I think we all thought this team was going to improve and all that. We knew Brunson would come in and finally be that point guard, that we needed, right? That's solid and all that. I think a lot of us thought that he's going to improve. That's going to help Rand a little bit. But we still need some pieces to make have a great season and all that. I don't think a lot of us thought Brunson was going to be maybe All NBA. Like he might be one of. There's only a few guys, especially of late, that have not made the All-Star team but made All NBA. And that Brunson, I know a lot of people, and including myself, got him as an All NBA player this season. That's how good he's been and all that. So. Talk to me about, and we'll go around the horn quick, the impact of Brunson and what were your expectations, preseason, and just talk to me about how much of impact he's made for this team and why, we're the fifth seed right now. Triple M, you go first.
Yeah, I think anybody said that they expected this from Jalen Brunson would be gassing it to an extent because the man is an all-star and an all-NBA player point guard that the New York Knicks haven't had in a very, very long time. And just his calming presence, Julius Randle didn't have the best of years last year. And you just see how Jalen Brunson, he takes a lot of attention and energy where Julius can focus on other things. And this led to Julius Randle revitalizing his stint here
He's
with the
All
Knicks.
NBA too, maybe.
Yeah, so you have to give Brunson credit. I mean, the guy came in balling out, a bunch of 30-point games. He's in the running for the most clutch in the NBA, hitting a bunch of clutch shots all season for the New York Knicks. And kudos to Jalen Brunson. We got the Jalen Brunson jersey that we're about to give away, and it's just an exciting time because the Knicks finally have a point guard. We haven't had a point guard in such a long time, and thank you, JB. Thank you for coming to New York, picking the New York Knicks.
Thank you,
when was
Mark
the
Cuban.
last time Thank you, Mark Cuban. When was the last time? I get the family ties. I get all the connections that we had with Jalen Brunson. But hey, man, he picked us. He picked the New York Knicks.
Yep.
And I give kudos to Brunson, man, for sure.
Yep. Hashtag blame Rick Brunson. We need to get that. Hashtag blame Rick Brunson and all that.
We slipping on the money right now. We slipping on money.
We gotta thank Dallas again. Dallas has helped us out, in the last few transactions, and also shout out to the Dallas Mavericks for helping the Knicks get back to where we want to be and all that. But Don Juan, how you feel about the Brunson and how he's impacted this team, to the 5th seed in the Eastern Conference?
Well, this has been great. Like I said, we haven't had a point guard in so long, and to get a guy like this at this level, it's insane. I mean, I didn't expect I expect borderline all-star. I didn't even expect that. And this guy was an all-star. He didn't make it. Granted, in the East is stacked with guards, so it's gonna be tough for him. But at the same time, like I did not expect. I had my uncle who's a huge Mavericks fan, been selling on the idea of a Brunson. I was honestly afraid of having a point guard who's short. That in this NBA level is gonna show a point guard to be dealing with the big men in today's day and age who realistically, besides Trae Young, I mean, there's not really much point guards that height and that stature, because that's another thing. He's not fast, he's not quick. He's limited in terms of the athleticism, but the IQ, the brains that he has up here is something that has blown me away since he's been here. Because I didn't watch a bunch of Mavs game, but like I said, my uncle who's been selling me on this idea of Jalen Brunson is literally come to fruition, and even more. He honestly short sold them. I feel like he did so much expectations that maybe not even Rick Brunson thought he would be, that Jalen Brunson would explode like this. But kudos to him. I mean, literally got us in the playoffs. I mean, it wasn't just him, but he's been a huge part because of the whole mentality that has been, continued among this team. This is something that we haven't had in a while. Like Triple M mentioned, the composure. He's keeping us at bay. Like he doesn't let nobody kind of just straight ahead. I mean, besides Julius Randle, who nobody could really control him, but at the same time, even he, I felt like is in a different place, being that he has a point guard that he can rely on. That
calmed him down a lot for him,
off of his plate, big time. And granted, he had his moments, but I think that right now, headed to the playoffs, big stage, where a Randall could explode, Brunson's gonna take that weight off his back and take over, man. And I can't wait, because we saw playoff Brunson, man. So I can't wait for that on the Knicks, man. I'm excited. Exactly.
Playoff Brunson, we saw that last year. He had won them a few games, especially early in the series, in a couple series early against so we've seen that. So Omar, just talk to me quick about the impact of Brunson on his team, and obviously us getting to the playoffs.
Yeah, when he signed, I thought, okay, great, we have a point guard now, legitimize the position, no longer messing around with like a washed-up player like Kemba or a person out of position like Alec Burks. So I'm like, all right, this is probably going to add 5-6 wins. I'm like, we'll probably be fighting for like the play-in, 9-8 seed, because we didn't know what Julius Randle we would be getting. We didn't know how it would affect RJ, so on and so forth. But the thing that really struck me about it, guys, is when we were in talk, well, obviously we're going to talk about Donovan Mitchell in the series later, but when we were in talks about getting Mitchell here, the thing was, it's like, well, he's one of the 2 stars you need to make this thing right. And it now feels like, with the way Brunson has come out and emerged, that you really only need 1. And some might argue that you have that in flashes in Julius, but obviously they still need somebody else. But it went from, we're a long ways away from contending to, we might have something here. We have this guy who is just exceeding every expectation. He was coming in, I was like, all right, he's probably going to be a good 17, 18 points a game, 7 assists, legitimizing the position. Instead, he's just activated superstar mode. And it's just been an incredible thing to watch. We haven't had, Triple M mentioned, good point guard play here in a very long time. We have been starved for point guards forever, and whenever
starved and hungry, anorexia. That's how bad it's been.
All of it. It's like, and it's the most important position, arguably, in basketball. And so to not have that for so long, it's like, I was like talking to somebody. I was like, who's like the last legit point guard we had, and you're like digging for names. You start bringing up Raymond Felton, and who's my guy. I love Raymond Felton, but he's not upper echelon like that. And Brunson is upper echelon, and
Hey,
Chris, you
respect
mentioned
Jeremy
the top.
Lin. Respect
Jeremy Lin
Jeremy
had a
Lin.
2 weeks of Jeremy Lin.
Yeah,
He had the best 15
don't,
minutes ever, man.
don't
Best
forget
15
Jeremy Lin.
Yeah,
Jeremy Lin had
15 minutes that turned into a documentary, guys. Which is so.
multiple. He got multiple turned into a
Facts,
nice
yeah,
contract and all that. No, great points and all that. And I'll piggyback off that. Like when we got him and all that, I was more mad about the draft pick. I remember being on your guys' show. I was like, yo, why did they messed up the draft? Why did they just punted with the 11th pick? I was so mad at that. But then I got to settle down. I was like, okay, JB gonna be good. And I said this team being the play-in, I said around 38 to 42 wins and all that, and they definitely that was probably the one team in my prediction. I hit on all 10 teams who make the playoffs at East, but the lowest I had was the Knicks, my own team. Like I just didn't see Brunson like elevating to a point where he's an all NBA type of player, right? I know we all, like I said, we all thought he was going to help this team improve and give us, solid point guard play and all. But then he leveled up Randall again. He leveled him up and calmed him down, right? So that's been good. So that it's been great to see another. But let's get into this match. We are playing the Cleveland Cavaliers. They are the 4th seed. So this season, we played them 4 times. They got to us game 1 the first time early. That was early in the season. I think that was around Halloween time, day before Halloween and all that. And they took us down 121-1 away. And a lot of people already were starting, right? They already was starting with the Mitchell stuff. Oh my God. Why did they mess up? They messed this up so bad, blah, 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 all this. Because I think he got like 40 points on us that day.
Yeah.
Then we took the next 3. We shut them down game 2. We essentially, shut down their offense in the next 2 games and then took care of business, recently and all that. But we're going into this matchup. The Cavs are the 4th seed, Knicks 5 seed and all that. Obviously, we know who they have. Their star player is the player that we thought we made. Mitchell thought he was going to be a Knick and all. So the storyline right there, we already know that narrative. So we know what we're going to deal with that. That's going to be the talking point at crazy. We know that's going to be the thing. So he was their lead scorer. They got Garland, who was up and down shit with injuries and all that, but we know what he could do at his peak. He was an all-star last season, and when he played the shit, he was good and all. But then most likely it's going to be Okoro at the other wing. Who's played good recently, I think he hit a buzzer beat against the Nets not too long ago, so his shooting has come along, especially, and then they got those big boys. And all that. So for Jared Allen and Mobley might be defensive player of the year. That's how good he's been in our second year, taking off on that Jared Allen from an all-star and all that. So we go into this matchup, guys. Game 1 Saturday in Cleveland and all that. Do we have to take game 1? Do you feel like we got to set the precedent from the jump in game 1, or do you feel like we can, even if we take one, we split, that we're going to be all right? Because for I know a lot of teams in these playoffs, they're going to have to take game 1 so they can get that momentum from the jump. Do you feel like that's the case with the Knicks, that they got to take game 1 and take their, take a little bit of that, a little bit of that soul from Cleveland?
For me, it would be great if we could take game 1, but I don't think it's needed. Listen, the Cleveland Cavaliers were 31-10 in Cleveland this season. It's not an easy place to play in.
No.
It's a hard place to play in. So to think that we can go in there game 1 and take it's not going to be easy. So it wouldn't even be ended all for me if they lose game 2. We got to come back to the Garden, take care of the Garden, and then this is when, if we're 2-2, then that's when the left hook, the right hook start coming in this boxing match. Because I think everybody can agree this series is going 6 or 7. So team if Cleveland takes care of their first 2 games and the Knicks come do the same, it'll be all right for me. So for me, game 1 is not a must win for the Knicks.
Yeah. No, I definitely understand that. Omar, how you feel?
I think Knicks fans want it to be game 1 because they're just like me and Triple M were talking earlier. We're kind of haunted by the memories of Atlanta. But I think realistically, you could drop. I think the most important thing is to split in Cleveland. You steal one on the road. If it's game 2, cool. If it's game 1, cool. Whatever it may be. So, that's my thing. The objective needs to be the split in Cleveland. Whether that's in game 1 or game 2 is irrelevant to me.
No, gotcha. Don Juan?
Well, it really depends if we have a full squad. If we have Randall back, if Randall's back, I feel like it's a must, considering that he's gonna be playing and we're gonna be full suited. But at the end of the day, game 1, I don't think it's a must just because we would need to come up with at least one win, but it doesn't have to be game 1. Obviously, we want to set the tone. That is a fact. But if we go out there and at least keep it competitive, like I just don't want to be game 1 and we lose by 20, 30 points. Now that would be ridiculous. Like make it a good match. Make it a good match, and then we go to game 2. We were meant up on us, but at the same time, like I'm really worried with this Randall injury. I really hope he's fully healthy for game 1, but it's a series, best of 7. Ain't no reason to rush Randall back when you could, there's still give him 3 more days off until game 2. Maybe bring him back game 2. And then we go all out. But at the same time, like let's say like the situation is, we got to win game 1 and we're going to rush Randall back just to win that game 1. It doesn't make any sense. I prefer a split, obviously, but game 1 is not a must for me.
Yeah, and you just brought it up. The biggest thing is that ankle. Randall's ankle. That's going to be the biggest thing. And there's rumors that it's not as bad as it is, but it is an ankle sprain. We know how ankle sprains are. They could be good in a few weeks, or they could take forever to heal, and all that. So how are we feeling if we're not going to get a healthy Julius Randle? Because that's what that means is we're going to have to see, Brunson have a little bit, do a little bit more offensively and all that. And then who's going to step up? If Randall's not 100%, is RJ going to step up? Is it Quentin Grimes? Is it IQ off the bench and all that? So how are we feeling about Randall's injury and is that something that we're really worrying about? Or are we like, okay, he's going to be all right? How are we feeling about the ankle? Because that ankle is going to dictate a lot with this series.
Yeah, Julius Randle, he's going to be huge. He's going to be huge no matter what we think about Obi Toppin, the great minutes he gave us to end the season. Julius Randle is going to be needed. And listen, I sent you guys a picture. A good friend of mine, his name is Michael. He's very connected with the Julius Randle people circle and stuff like that. A big fan of the show. And he said that somebody talked to Randle, and Randle said he's going to be locked and ready to go for game 1. Listen, Ian Begley put out a report earlier today saying that Julius is not taking part of practice yet, stuff like that. And that got me thinking, is this a chess match? Is this a match where, they're kind of like Julius might be hurt, and in the first quarter he goes out and makes 6 threes in a row, like what is going on? I mean, at the end of the day, it's a chess match. It's probably the best matchup in the East is Knicks versus Cavs series. So I think Randall's gonna be ready. I think Randall's gonna be ready to go game 1, and it's needed. He's gonna be such an important piece to winning this series for sure.
That's a fact. Yeah, it's gonna be interesting. I mean, that ankle, man, like you said, Chris, it's scary, especially a big dude like him. I mean, and the way he plays, real physical, jumping off the ground. I mean, this year he showed something completely different on dunks, going up in the air. So honestly, I didn't even know the guy could jump that high. But he's also worked all off season to get into this tip-top shape. The guy's a warrior. I mean, he's been playing damn near the full seasons the last 3 years, and he's been nicked up, no pun intended, but he's been hurt, whether it's ankle injury here, whether he falls on the floor. This guy's a warrior, and if there is a game to be played, he's gonna be there. But at the same time, there's probably a bigger picture. Somebody, first of all, I mean, the injury looked terrible, looked bad. So that's why I'm a little worried about just him coming back this soon. They say he's going to be evaluated in 2 weeks. 2 weeks from the injury. 2 weeks. What is the actual start date of the playoffs? The 15th. So, granted, you never know based on how bad we saw one way, and once you see X-rays, MRIs, and all that, could tell you another story. and we haven't really heard much of that information because the Knicks have been real secretive with this Randall stuff. But I mean, it is serious. But hey, if Randall's coming back, if those sources is true, man, I really hope that they're true. I might have to change my mind on that game one. We got to go all out, man. If he's 100%, that game one now becomes a little more of a must win now. You know.
Yep. Yeah.
Yeah, and the thing with it, anybody that's acting like, oh, you know, we can weather the storm without Randall needs to be drug tested because imagine any other
Omar's
team.
the biggest Randall fan next to Zebo. Him and Zebo get along.
So any other franchise that loses their second best player, you know, and goes into the playoffs is not going to be feeling easy. So yeah, we need Randall at 100%. If he is like not right, I mean, this might be a shorter series than we think. It is imperative. Like people want to see Obi Toppin or whatever. It's like, you know, playing against the Wizards B squad is a lot different than playing against the number one defense.
That's being nice. That wasn't even their B squad. That was their C-
exactly.
squad.
Yeah, playing against G League teams. Like I understand that the minutes were impressive or whatever, but we got to have Randall here, man. You know, there's no way around it. I'm hoping that at the very least that he's good to go by game 2 and that it's 100%, not just, you know, a hobbled version of himself, because we need him to hit those shots. We need him to get down low, get some rebounds, that sort of thing. This team is better when you got both Brunson and Randall at 100%. And that's really going to be the only way we win this series is if both of those guys are playing at a high level.
Yeah. I think, just some points to this series that are going to be important. Cavaliers, I think they're coming in with the top ranked defense in the league. It has slipped a little bit of late though. So that's put there. And our offense is, I think, top 5 in offensive efficiency. Obviously, our offense has kind of exploded of late too, especially when IQ, you know, maybe the turn of the new year, he felt like he just took off like a rocket, and we needed that. We needed another guy, you know, especially, you know, a reliable third option that we can rely on to score and all that. So I think that's going to be an important factor. Like you said, with Randall and all that, we need his physicality too, because this is going to be, we got to get to their bench. Their bench is not good. There's no Kevin Love. Like the first time we played them, Kevin Love lit us up for like a 30 piece or something like that. Or he had 29-30 on us. There's no Kevin Love there. They do not have a lot of depth on that bench. I mean, there was, you know, they picked up Danny Green this season. We thought maybe he could be a factor for them this season, but it's probably time for Danny Green to walk away from the game. You know,
man, Danny Green kills us, man. I might walk away from the game.
Yeah, we don't need that. You know, and there, you know, D Wade, you know, not that D Wade, but the other D Wade had a couple good games and all that. But I think it's going to be important for us to get to that bench and all that. So I'm going to go around the horn again. You guys give me, you know, the matchup you're looking forward to, whether it's player, team, coach, which matchup you're looking most forward to in this series that's gonna be pivotal for us.
I guess I'll go first. I think the obvious one is the Jalen Brunson Donovan Mitchell show. I mean, that's what you're looking to see. You're looking to see because we got a preview of it, you know, a couple weeks ago, you know, where
dropped the
48 just going at each other, 40 pieces, haymaker after haymaker, and that stuff just gets even better in the playoffs. And if Brunson is just on that level and that hand is fully healed up and good to go, which we all think it is, I think you're in for a treat with this. It could be shades of that bubble duel that Mitchell had with Jamal Murray a few years back, where they're just going after one another. So that's what I'm looking forward to the most. Is kind of like the game within the game, so to speak.
Yep. That's probably maybe the matchup because these both dynamic guards and all that. And Brunson is just, I think he's averaging like 28 against them this season and all that. And Brunson's has been on an offensive role ever since that playoffs he had last year where he lit up Utah. Mitchell was not. Yeah. He scored, but he wasn't able to. You know, he wasn't efficient. You know, and like you said, he's not.
Can we all just agree that was Rudy Gobert's fault, considering
everything is the Wolves lost last night because of Rudy Gobert. Even though he didn't play and all that, it's his fault. It's his fault for everything and all that. But Brunson's not as ball dominant as a Donovan Mitchell and all that. Doesn't take the ball down, to the last second of the clock. So, that's going to be an important matchup, for sure. Definitely one of the top matchups. Triple M.
Yeah, for me, this is there's so many storylines in this playoff matchup. Whether, like Omar said, JB, Donovan Mitchell, or Julius having an All NBA season against Evan Mobley,
Mm-hmm.
probably Defensive Player of the Year. So there's so many dynamics, but I'm gonna go with the coaching. Tom Thibodeau versus JB Bickerstaff. Listen, Tom had a nightmare performance against the Atlanta Hawks a few years ago. Just as bad as Julius was, so was Tom Thibodeau pulling the plug on Alfred Payne in Game 3 and sticking Derrick Rose in there. And then the vibe was way off already at that point. Like, everything that the Knicks did all season, Tibbs at the end wants to just take it off. So I think that's going to be the biggest matchup I'm looking for, because you mentioned it, Chris. The Cavs bench is not good. So how is JB Bickerstaff going to manage that? Is he going to play these guys extra minutes? Donovan Mitchell, 45 minutes, 40 to 45 minutes. What is he going to do? These playoffs, there was a couple extra days of rest that I saw that's going to be huge. It's going to be huge because you can play these guys a lot of minutes. And now what is Tom Thibodeau going to do? We know he likes playing his guys a lot of minutes, but the Knicks have a minutes problem on their hand. Like, who are we closing with? If Grimes, Quickly, RJ, Julius, JB, Mitch, like, you have 7 guys, 8 guys that want to close the game and can close the game. So what is Tom Thibodeau going to do there? So that's going to be the biggest thing I'm watching for. What is Coach Tibbs, who, let's go back to that first time we beat Cleveland. There was reports he was out of here if they lost that game. And the Knicks came out of that Cleveland game and beat the Cavs. So I'm looking forward to this Tom Thibodeau, JB Bickerstaff matchup. That's going to be important in this huge matchup between the Knicks and Cavs.
Yeah, the Cavs bench
Big
was
time.
third worst in the NBA. Now we're bottom, but our bench has definitely picked up as of late and all that. So numbers are kind of weird, but the Cavs bench for the most part is not being any good on that. So Don Juan.
Yeah, so damn, I like all your points. I mean, this was set up. JB and Mitchell going off last year in the playoffs was exciting, and then to see it
Mm-hmm.
one more time, especially with the story behind it, is great. But I feel like those guys are gonna go off regardless. I feel like the one matches that I really want to see is Mitchell Robinson versus Jared Allen. These are two guys that have been going at it for years now.
Mm-hmm.
Years. It's been like a chess match with them, with different stories. Whether it's from Jared Allen was in Brooklyn, and they've been coming up, fighting the
Good
young
point.
Knicks, to him going to Cleveland now, being an All Star, and Mitchell Robinson kind of like, damn, like this is the standard almost. Even the contract.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, even Jared Allen getting paid, I'm pretty sure played a part in Mitchell Robinson's contract situation as well. He didn't get paid that much, but he got paid handsomely. But the
Yes.
reason why I'm really looking at this matchup, I mean, the two teams that are great defensively, but at the same time, you know, considering that the Cavs have a great, twin towers in Jared Allen and Mobley, they're not really good grabbing boards. And you got Mitchell Robinson, who's one of the best offensive rebounders in the game. You got,
Mm-hmm.
I mean, the team as a whole, great rebounder, but I mean, Mitchell Robinson has to set his presence early. I mean, you got Garland and Mitchell that are going to be attacking, so he's going to have to step up and do his thing. But the fact that Jared Allen, he's also such he's not the best offensive player, but you can't sleep on him. He got post moves, he got little, he got things that little intangibles that actually make him what he is, which is a guy that could be an all star given the time. This year he didn't make it. He didn't make it, but that thing that had to do with still getting adjusted with the team, but also even he didn't play that many games. But Mitchell Robinson and him, like I said, this has been a long story of careers that they, if I'm not mistaken, they might have been drafted the same year too. But I can't pull up that fact. But even still, Jared Allen, I mean, he's a great player. It's going to be a nice test for Mitchell Robinson, who This year has had a bit of an up and down. Had his moments. I mean, had a streak of double doubles throughout the year, but he finished the year strong. Now let's see what in the schematic, chess match like the playoffs are. How are the Cavs gonna, strategically play Mitchell Robinson? Consider he can't hit free throws. Considering he's not the best offensive player, are they gonna like leave him open in the dunker spot? I mean, they shouldn't, but those are things that the Cavs gonna have to decide. And I'm real interested on how they plan to eliminate those things, considering that they have so many other things to worry about. I mean, they got JB, they got Julius Randle. I mean, quickly, RJ. There's a lot of things, and RJ. I mean, we can't sleep on him either. I mean, this could be the moment that he comes out in the playoffs, ball swinging, because he's at the same time there's other players that could blow up. But Mitchell Robinson, I feel like he has to set his presence. He has to show that he's a big dude, hold it down in the paint. And Jared Allen ain't an all-star. That's what we're going to roll.
Yep. Yeah, and the Knicks were second in the NBA in rebounds, top 5 in offensive rebounds. They were third in offensive rebounds per game. And Cleveland was, I believe, bottom. They were bottom tier in total rebounds and like bottom 10 in like offensive rebounds. So the battle of the boards is going to be very important. And you would think they have 2 big guys, but 2 7-footers, you would think they would be high in rebounds. But, the Knicks, we have seen, some monster rebounding efforts. They got a couple guys that can get you 4 guys that get you 10 rebounds plus and all that, so that's going to be an important factor. Right. Omar, what's your biggest X factor in this series?
Don Juan talked about RJ. I think it's RJ. He has gotten a lot of criticism. The shot has not been great. I think since January, it's like real bad, 20-some%. And so he's going to need to make some shots. Because they're going to be focused, especially if you get a healthy Randall, they're going to be focusing on Brunson and Randall so much. And that's going to give him opportunity, especially with the second unit. When those second units in, and if Cleveland's bench is in, he has to dominate. And that could be the difference in the series if you get a little bit of canceling out and things of that nature. For the Cavs, as weird as it is to say this about a player so great, but we haven't even mentioned his name yet, is Darius Garland. I think he is going to be a key as well. And, he's such a great passer, great offensive scoring talent as well. But I think he's going to be a key for them. The defense is going to be keying in on Donovan Mitchell as it should. And I'm curious to see how that's going to open up opportunities for Garland. When we played them throughout the year, he did have a lot of opportunities to get some buckets on us because the focus was so much on Mitchell because he could drop 40, whenever. And so, yeah, I think RJ and Garland are kind of my 2 X factors for both teams going into this series.
Yeah. Let's get right into it. Let's talk about Mr. Barrett because he's obviously, did not have a season that we expected, right? And especially, getting a new contract and all that. And it was not a good season shooting wise. He struggled, to say the least, and all that. What are you guys expecting from him this series? Are we expecting to see, kind of like the second half RJ we've seen the last few years where he's played a lot better, and we didn't really get that this season. Are we expecting that, or are we kind of worried that we might see the RJ that we've kind of seen that is shooting 9 from 3-point land and can't seem to finish at the rim and all that? Are we worried about that in this series, especially with those 2 big boys protecting the rim? How are we feeling about RJ? Because obviously he's a big factor in this series, and he could be the guy that can push us to the next round, or maybe a reason why we're at home, that. So how are we feeling about Mr. RJ Barrett?
Yeah, for me, like RJ Barrett, he's the X factor in everything the Knicks are gonna do moving forward. Because listen, we tried to trade him for Donovan Mitchell. Like, let's be serious.
Let's keep it a buck.
We tried to do it. Like, we weren't hiding it. If the Cavs would have been like, all right, we'll take RJ and 2 picks, RJ will be in Cleveland right now. And we in a group chat with Off the Ball, and Chris is always sending RJ Barrett to Minnesota or to Dallas. Chris is ready to ship RJ Barrett to the nearest NBA team with a star.
Hey, I was one of the few people that said, hey, I'd trade R.J. Barrett and Obi Toppin to go get a Donovan Mitchell. And people were like, "Nah, how can you trade R.J.?" I was like, "Hey, well, we already got a guy. You get Mitchell. He's already doing what we think R.J. might do in a few years. Let's just get the guy who's 25 right now." I was one of the few people got on me, but now we're like, we trade him for freaking Wally Zerbiak or something. You know, we trade him for anything at this point.
So that's what I'm saying. Like RJ, he's gonna be the piece because, like, are we gonna trade him again? Are we gonna put him in offers? And I think so. I think so. Like the way this team is shaping up and made up, I think he will be. And as far as this series, just sticking to this series though, in particular, he needs to hit open shots, man. The Cavs are going to double Jalen Brunson. They're going to double Julius Randle if he's feeling it. That's gonna leave somebody open. And RJ Barrett is supposed to be our third guy. He just has to make the open shot. Or he has to drive. He has to, and he like his game is driving. We know that, right? And sometimes he has tunnel vision where he drives and doesn't look out to kick it open to the open guy. And you just can't drive on Evan Mobley and Jared Allen down there all the time. And Okoro is a good defensive player. He's a very good defensive player. So, like, what are we gonna do with RJ? It's gonna be. This goes back to my Tom Thibodeau question earlier. Like, what is Tibbs gonna do with RJ? If RJ has a bad first quarter, are you just not playing him the rest of the game? Like, are you doing that in the NBA playoff?
I think he'll go that way.
Yeah, and we can see that. And we can see that.
He did it. He's done it. I think
Tibbs, sometimes he's so stubborn and his rotation is so template that he might stick him out there again and he might stink up the place again in the third quarter. And now we down 15. And now we're down 18 going into the third quarter, late into the third quarter. So that's RJ. This is like Zebo just said right here. This is a legacy series for RJ. Like if RJ stinks up the place, it's gonna be real nasty. It's gonna be a real bad summer for RJ Barrett, and we can see him elsewhere. Clearly, we can definitely see him elsewhere for me. So
listen, like you just said,
wow.
Like they tried to trade him. Right, so there was already skepticism on his future with the Knicks. Right, they were like, we might have to trade you to go get someone that we feel like can, be better for us long term and all that. So, but this is a series. I don't know. I wouldn't go legacy like that because I don't think he's that on that realm of player. But it's definitely big for him and how they feel about him even more going forward, because. If he's one of the reasons why they don't advance, they're gonna have to figure out something, and they have the ammunition, and then they could possibly get more ammunition if the NBA gods bless us in the draft and we get 11 on from Dallas, 11 to 14. So let's cross our fingers and hope the NBA gods bless us. But they got ammunition to be like, hey, we got to find who that third guy is and all that. So. This is big for RJ and all that. So, the rest of the guys, how we feeling about RJ?
Yeah. Well, I would say it is. I mean, I don't know, but the legacy is a little bit dramatic, but maybe his legacy with the Knicks at the Knicks.
The Knicks. If he want to pretend the Knicks.
As the Knicks, as a Knick, yes, because his contract kicks in after this season.
It starts next year too. That's the crazy part. They may already regret it.
And honestly, this summer might be the summer that whether he does good or bad, the Knicks might pull the plug just because that money kicking in. But that's another story. Do I think he shows up this series? I mean, I think he does, but because of the gravitational pull JB and Randall does, the game is just gonna be easy for him. They're gonna be sleeping on him. This year, he actually has played well against them. Maybe not averaging 20-some points, but it's been efficient points nonetheless. And then you got he's not gonna be playing. He's not gonna be guarding the best player on the other team as well. So I think knowing that is gonna take a lot of pressure off of him.
Don, his defense has been pretty not good this year. He's like bottom in a lot of even like the deep analytics. They're like, his defense took a hit. So not only did the offense take a hit, the defense took even a greater hit.
Facts, and that's where we now realize that and position him for success. We're not putting him against Spider Mitchell, where I felt like maybe last year there was a few assignments where he was guarding the best player, and it's like, okay, clearly he can't defend those type of guys, but maybe some players that are a little bit stockier, a little slower that he could keep up with, that makes a little more sense. But for a guy that, he's gonna have Mitchell and Garland at times guarding him, he's got the size. There's gonna be a lot of moments where he's gonna be at an advantage because they won't have the Okoros guarding RJ because they're gonna be too busy with Okoro or maybe IQ, Okoro or maybe Jalen Brunson. And I feel like the matchup is favorable for him. Do I think he's gonna be scoring 30 points? Nah, but it's gonna be on average of where he's at now, whether it's like 17 to 20 points.
But sometimes it's not efficient, and that's the
He's been efficient.
23.
It's been efficient against the Cavs, though. So based on this chess matchup that we got here, the
Okay.
Cavs are gonna have a lot to deal with because if you got a guy that could potentially hit something like that, he shot 40 some percent from three against the Cavs, and I feel like it's because they're not really focused on him. They just letting him do what he does.
Yeah, it's going to be huge. It's going to be huge because we know what Cleveland's top two can do, as far as their top two scorers, and we know what our two guys do. So it's going to be who's going to be that third guy for each team that's going to be efficient and be that third guy and all that for each team. So it's going to be huge. Is RJ going to be there? Is it Quentin Grimes and all that? And like what Triple M said before, we've seen it before this season. Tips has benched RJ in the fourth and gone with not him playing for the whole fourth quarter and all that. So and I would not be shocked if RJ's 1 for 9, or whatever, and he's not playing defense. That's the key too. If he's not playing defense, if Mitchell and Okoro getting past him, he gonna grab some bench, and we're gonna see Quentin Grimes and IQ play a lot of minutes this series potentially. So this is gonna be huge and all that, as far as. But like you guys, Chip, like you mentioned before, as far as the coaches, like this is gonna be a chess matchup. Like it's gonna, how is JB gonna use his bench and all that to try to move stuff? Is he gonna play? Are we gonna see a lot of Karis LeVert and all that and stuff like that? Is he gonna maybe not play all these five the stars together? Try to mix it up. Maybe have Garland play more with the second unit or all that. Just so they can get some more scoring punch and all that with him and LeVert off the bench and all that, and D Wade.
Or even shorting the rotation to 8 players instead of 9. Like,
yeah,
he might tighten it up even more just because he needs to keep all his best guys there, knowing that the second unit isn't up there.
Yeah, I wonder if he's going to stagger a little bit, guys. Like you stagger Garland and Mitchell, you stagger Mobley and Allen, so that you kind of cover up the deficiencies a little bit of a much weaker bench compared to what the Knicks are running with. I do want to just say one last thing on the RJ stuff before we move on to this. I think there's 2 avenues of success for him in this series. One is to hit open threes, which you guys have all said. The other is to be aggressive when he does get the ball and driving in and get their bigs into foul trouble. That's something that I think we're so focused on the shooting, and rightfully so. He does need to hit shots. But if he could get Allen or Mobley into foul trouble and make
they got no bigs
to use that bench,
they got no bigs on the bench.
No bigs. You're going to bring in Lamar Stevens early, right? You just kind of
Cedi Osman season, like
right, exactly. No. So if he could do that, Brunson,
Robin Lopez,
Robin
Lopez. Hold on.
Oh no, man! If Robin Lopez kills
oh man, forgot he was on the roster. But yeah, it's
just like we got Robin. I forgot. I keep thinking he's in Milwaukee. I don't know why he's in Milwaukee. I'm thinking of Brook. My bad.
Thinking of Brook. Yeah. Thinking of better Lopez. No.
So they got some size, but like Robin is not someone. He's a definitely
you feel better. You feel better going against Robin Lopez than you do about going up against Jared Allen. That's the big thing. Now Brunson's going to try and draw fouls, and Randall's going to do the same. If RJ could get in on that as well, he'll be successful. Now, if he, like you guys said, tunnel vision, bad finishing, bad shooting, like basically everything goes wrong. Of course that's a real bad look, and Knicks fans are going to be coming with their pitchforks. But I think if he could do one of the 2 things, and I don't even think it's like asking a lot, like, hey, let's hit me 2 threes per game, or get inside and finish at a pretty decent percentage at the rim when you have that opportunity. I think that's doable. And it's funny where it's like almost like the bar for RJ has gotten so low now that we're kind of just asking him to be Terrence Ross, and like
I wish
that's
he could
kind of
shoot
what
like
our
Terrence
expectation
Ross.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say.
Yeah, I know exactly. That's what we want.
Like
At least Terrence
Ross.
Ross could take over a little bit, but
yeah, but like when he was coming out, his draft comp, people were saying this is the next Harden. It's just it's just kind of a crazy shift in the narrative about what he
Who was
can.
that?
it really has.
Be, I mean,
But
It
look,
really has
I
changed.
think that the schedule makers made this good for Cleveland because game 1 is Saturday, game 2 is not till Tuesday, so you get 3 days off, even though you're still in Cleveland. Then you get 3 days off again coming to New York. Game 3 is on Friday.
I hate the first round of the NBA because it's too many. It's too big. Too big of gaps. Like game 1, like you said, Saturday. Next game is not till next Saturday. It's like like that's why the first round takes forever. It takes like 3 years for the first round to end because it's like, too many days.
Listen, game 1
I missed
is
the
on
5-game series. I missed the 5-game series. You get back to back, and then you get the day off, and back to back, and then back, and then 1 day off, and then game 5, and then we get it's over with in a week.
Game 1 is on the 15th. Game 7, if need be, is on the 30th. You're talking about
2-week series.
2-week series. That's ridiculous.
Oh man, if this series goes to game 7, that's
my heart can't take that.
It's gonna be a
diabetic, man. I ain't gonna handle that, man. That's too much and all that. But yeah, that's the one thing I like about the first round. It takes way too long.
Yeah,
way too long. But
it's gonna be a long one, fellas.
It's gonna be long. It's gonna be a good one. No, Chip, you take over, bro.
Yes, sir, man. Yes, sir. Yo, shout out to everybody watching for sure. Before we're gonna give the giveaway, but before we give the giveaway, man, we gotta give a prediction right here. We gotta give Knicks Cavaliers prediction for the series, fellas. Chris, you got to give it to me first, man. How you feeling? And is there anybody still on, man? My fault. Supposed to have people on. Let's see. Is Ralph still on here with us right here? Let's see if he got a prediction first. Ralph. Oh yeah. Oh
my God.
Worldwide Knicks in the building. What's good?
Worldwide Knicks. Tom, don't give us the Tom Thibodeau rant, man. He had a good season. He had a good year this year.
No, man. I was just laying on the floor listening to you guys talk about RJ Barrett like that. Man, my God.
The floor.
Hey, man. How you doing, guys?
Rafa, give us a prediction. Give us your Knicks Cavaliers prediction. How you got this series shaking now?
It's Game 6. We win in New York. Finish the season Game 6
in New York.
Taking Game 1, to me, it's massive. Taking Game 1, because if we take Game 1, even if Randall's not 100%, you can go into that Game 2 with a different perspective. With we've done our job in Game 1. We can chill a bit on Game 2. Let them take their win back. If we can steal it, great. 2-0 to 2-0 would be great. But if we take that Game 1, can chill Game 2. You said it's a couple of days from to play in New York. We're talking about the first round, so get back in New York, make it 3-1. Then if you take 3-2, we finish it in Game 6. And I think it's very, very important we finish in Game 6, because if we go to Game 7, that building will be tremendous. And I don't know if we can. But I hope we do, because I said it. There's no way I'm betting in the playoffs against the Knicks. They're always going to win. I don't care. I don't care if it's Game 8.
You're a homer.
They're taking it. Yeah. Oh, absolutely. We're going. They can take the dream from me. So all the way, man. All the way, baby.
Yeah, man. Thank you, Rob. Thank you for jumping off a little bit, man. Shout out to you. You see, Worldwide Knicks is in the building because they got the same type of camera. They got that 4K. Can't see the background. New York. Oh yeah, throw that up for the guys, man. Yo, shout out to you, Rob, for coming on, man. Appreciate you, brother. Thank you. But Chris, give me a prediction for you, my guy.
All right. I haven't said a prediction and all that.
Breaking right here on the show. Chris with his prediction.
I think the Knicks win in 7. I think it's going to come down to a lot of close games, and the Cavaliers have not been that good this year in close games. They've kind of struggled the last few years, but this year, particularly, They're just not. I think there's a stat, and let me see if I can pull it up right here. Okay, so the
They
Cavs
got
are
the Cleveland and
24,
7 in the chat right now.
24 and 21 in games that were within 5 points, and then 27-10 and anything else. So biggest differential in the season and all that. So that shows that they're just not be able to. Their defense has been good, but the offense has struggled in close games. I think within the 5 minutes, their offense is like bottom 10 in scoring in like last 5 minutes of games and all that. So, and while we got one of maybe the clutch player of the year in Jalen Brunson, who's been great in clutch opportunity. I don't care what Randall did against the Atlanta Hawks 3 years ago. That's in the past. That's a whole different team and all that.
Much better roster now.
Much better roster. I do not expect that to happen. I expect, even though he probably will not be fully, I think we're still going to see a solid Julius Randle and all that. I just think whether it's Grimes, whether it's IQ, I like our third option better than their third option as far as taking, offensively and all that. And I think the Knicks are going to do enough, and the Knicks can rebound the ball really well and all that. So I think that can counter them. There are guys that can protect the rim and all that. So I just think Brunson's going to be huge because, let's face it, the Cavs guards cannot guard. That's being nice. It's just being very nice and all that. So I think the Knicks are going to be able to capitalize with killing them with free throw line and all that in the mid range. I think that the Knicks are going to be able to do that, capitalize, rebound good enough, and IQ Grimes are going to get their shots. I trust those guys more, that the Knicks third options better than Cavs third option. So I think, and look at, we've shown it. And listen, the record in the regular season, it's there's always ways to look at it. We beat them 3-1, but they came off a back-to-back and all that. They played 4 and 5 and all that. I just think we have enough to take care of business. Even with the little hobble Julius Randle, I think we got enough to take care of business. And I'm going to go Knicks in 7. That's my prediction.
There we go. Knicks in 7. Woo! Knicks in 7 for the Prezi. Off the ball, Chris LeBron. He threw it. He jumped out the window. He jumped out the window with it. Omar, I need your prediction, man. You have a goodie right now for us.
Yeah. So I think this is the best series in the first round in the playoffs, and I think it's going 7. And I'll be honest, I think it's Cleveland in 7. Basically because their defense is really good. Like we talked about it earlier. Knicks have 3 guys who want to get at the rim, and they got 2 real good bigs who could stop that from happening. I think that you're going to get, and the Julius Randle element, if, like Zebo mentioned in the chat earlier, that he thinks it's 100% cap, that they're just playing games with the media. I hope that's true, but as it stands right now, if he is actually not 100%, then I think that's a big hurdle to overcome against a team this good. And I think there's going to be moments from IQ and moments from Brunson and Barrett that are going to make this series fun. I think it goes 7. Obviously, you never know what's going to happen in the NBA in the game 7. But on paper right now, I think Cleveland is a little bit of the better team, and so that's my pick. Hope I'm wrong,
Yes,
of course.
Yes, sir. Of course. You're a Knicks fan. You hope you're wrong. I feel you on that. Don Juan, give your official Knicks versus Cavs prediction.
So I came in here, just ready to blurt out Knicks in 6, just because considering the Julius Randle factor, injury and whatnot, expecting maybe him being out 1 game. I'm trying to play out the series, make it make sense to me. Figure, with Obi as a starting power forward 1 game and the Cavs having a full healthy squad was gonna give us a little trouble. But like Triple M said, with the sources that we got, with the news that we got, man, I'm going Knicks in 5. Julius Randle,
Triple M Begley,
Triple M Begley, just like Utah Jazz against the Dallas Mavericks last year. That even without Luka, they got exposed. This Cavs team doesn't have the firepower to compete with our team. They're gonna be tired by halftime. I mean, the Knicks are up a run and gun team since the second half of the season. They've been just running on these guys. It's gonna be trouble for the Cavs.
I got a follow up for Don Juan though.
He jumped out the window. He's out. He's out.
And I can't wait to really expose this Cavaliers team who went all out, traded picks, traded half their bench for Donovan Mitchell, all for for being a contender. All for being a contender. And the Knicks, what they did, they stood pat. And guess what? We were just a few games less than them, a few games under them, and we right there with them. Honestly, 8 man to us having 11 players, man. We got the depth, we got the team, we got the star players. I mean, just because Donovan Mitchell is better than all of our guys doesn't mean that team is good. I mean, we've seen these one superstar teams. They can't just do it all by themselves, especially when you got a team like the Knicks that we're stacked all around. We're gonna push them to 5 games.
Yo, fan down Don Juan. Fan him down. He's going crazy.
He's got the Knicks in 3. He's got the Knicks in 3, bro. They can make him forfeit the 4 game.
Fan him down.
I got a follow-up question for you. I got a follow-up question for you. So if they win in 5, are they automatically after that a dark horse Eastern Conference Finals team?
I think you have to put them in the conversation.
Do
I think they're gonna beat? Who is it that we would face? The Bucks.
Someone's got the parade ready to go.
We face the Bucks. I mean, we gave the Bucks a bit of run for their money. At least one game of the season.
We lost every single time we played.
How did they step back?
Then they
we pull off the win. But I think that the Bucks are clear overhead.
Let's beat the Cavs first.
Where the Cavs?
Yeah, let's stick to the Cavs. Let's stick to the Cavs.
The Cavs are in the same tier.
Yo, chill, Don Juan. Chill, Don Juan.
Not Giannis. I feel like you gotta give us a chance, though.
We got another Juan. We got another Juan in the building. Give us your prediction quickly, bro. We got to get up out of here soon. So give us your prediction fast. What you got? Don Juan just jumped out the window. So let's see what this one got to say.
You're on mute, man.
You on mute, bro. You on mute. Oh, he going crazy. Look at that.
Got you. First of all, appreciate y'all fellas to have me. Juan, happy birthday. You already know, bro.
Thank you, brother. Appreciate it.
Very quick. I know I'm also driving, so I got to make this short too. My prediction is Knicks in 6, but that's only if we could close out one game at Cleveland. I think that is very important for us to at least lock in one of the first 2 games. I think if we can, I think we can actually win both games at home, to be honest. I think that the home court advantage, the energy we're going to bring at MSG is going to really be something different this year. And if we do that, I'm saying Knicks in 6.
All right. There we go. Both ones going crazy. Jumping out the window. Knicks in 6, yo.
You're already thinking about KD matchups already.
yeah, he's going crazy. Yo, appreciate you, Juan, jumping on, man. Give me your prediction. So, listen, I got to go real quick for sure. Man, listen, for me personally, it's tough because obviously I'm a Knicks fan, so I want to scream and go Don Juan route and say Knicks in 3. That's what I'm saying. But listen, Cleveland went all in with Donovan Mitchell, man. They traded 5 first-round picks. They traded a lot of assets, and for good reasoning. Like, they were in position to do that. They already had an all-star in Garland. They have an all-star in Jared Allen.
I gave him props for doing it too. I gave him major props for going.
And they have Evan Mobley, who we think is going to be a future all-star for sure, and he's going to win defensive player.
Man, that's what they're saying.
So
he might win defensive player of the year in the second year in the league.
You give him kudos for doing that trade. Look, they were in prime position to do that, so I give them a lot of props. So, but the Knicks, man, they legit have a better team right now. Like, they legit have a better team, but it really comes down to star power here. It comes down to star power here, and that's why I think I will have to agree with Omar, where I will say Cavs in 7. Listen, I'm a Knicks fan, and I'm kind of cheating because I'm taking the Knicks fan who, if Donovan Mitchell kills us, they're gonna kill this squad. Like, oh, you should have traded for Donovan Mitchell. You see. But if the Knicks win, they're gonna be like, hey, I'm a Knicks fan. Yeah. So I'm kind of taking that cheating route too.
Oh, I'm
gonna be like, listen. The Knicks, they still have all their assets. They didn't go all in this year. But the vibes are different. The vibes change. And I just think the Cavaliers have more star power. I think the Knicks have a better team, but the Cavs with Donovan Mitchell, with Darius Garland, with Mobley, like, they just have at the end of the games where they can just kind of make that big shot, make that extra play that I think that the Knicks might lack. And I think it's going to go 7. And game 7, everything is in the air. So
100%.
I hope I'm wrong, but definitely I think I'm leaning Cavs right now, to be honest.
Yeah, but if the Cavs are going to win this series, it's probably because Donovan Mitchell had a couple special moments, right? I think we can agree that if they win this, he had
Yeah.
2 games where he dropped 40 and he took over in the fourth quarter late.
That's why I said the star power, man. That's why I said the star power, because Donovan Mitchell shows up in the playoffs. He shows up in the playoffs, and with Utah, nobody else showed up. Rudy Gobert usually struggled. Bogdanovich was hit or miss. So maybe Garland steps up in the playoffs. Maybe Mobley steps up in the playoffs. So I just think that their stars will show up possibly.
Yeah, no, that's going to be huge. That's going to be huge, and it's how this series. If that's the case, and Mitchell goes off, and let's say this is a 5-game series, and they win in 5, we're going to hear it. We know we're going to hear it and all that, and yeah, that could be true and all that. But I wonder what's going to be their approach and all that if that is the case. Do they believe that Randall? There's going to be a lot of things if that happens. But I don't think that's going to happen. I truly believe that this is going to be a 6-7 game series. It's not the team like everybody's worried about what happened against the Hawks those years back. That was a bad matchup, realistically. Especially what that was. I remember telling people that's not a matchup that they got a lot of shooters and all that. This Cavs team doesn't have a lot of shooters. I'm not worried about them killing us from the perimeter and all that. So yeah, they got Donovan Mitchell, but there's Donovan Mitchell last year, man. He had the points, but he was inefficient. He shot below 40%. So if that should be how we approach it, we got to use some of that blueprint that Dallas used against them last year, because they have their big men like their Rudy Gobert. Now their guys are a little bit more offensively, gifted than Rudy and all that, but kind of take some of that blueprint and all that and figure out, yes, Donovan's going to get his, but how do we make him work? How do we make sure he's shooting 39%, 38%? Because if you tell me, yeah, he averaged 29, but it's at 38%. I'm like, oh, we got a good chance. Now, if it's 30 plus and it's at 45, 46, it's a different story. So
we got the personnel. We got the personnel.
We have the personnel to do it, to attack quickly. He's played tremendous defense this year, so we could use him. Quentin Grimes, you can put we got multiple guys that could put on him.
Yeah,
like
Josh Hart.
Josh Hart too. We even talked about Josh Hart, how the impact he's made since we got him. He's been a tremendous glue piece for it. So I'm not worried like against Atlanta. I'm like, no, this is a different team, and then we're playing a team that, I'm not really worried about a lot of the guys from the perimeter. So that's why I'm truly feel good about the Knicks coming out of the series with a win, or at least making sure we're going deep 6-7 games with this team at least.
All right. I'm gonna change my answer. Knicks and 7. All right, I'll just say it right now. I'm on my Stephen A. I'm Knicks and 7. Thank you, Chris, for changing my mind. It's true. We got Josh Hart. We got the bench. The Knicks are winning in 7. I'm bugging. My fault, man. Delete the last scene. I'm jumping out the window. Look at that window right there. Look at the river right there. I'm out of there. I'm jumping right now. I'm throwing myself. Knicks and 7 right now. Man. Knicks and 7 for sure.
Soundtracks. All that stuff.
Yeah, you already know, man. Knicks fans wilding. Zebo, he said Knicks and 6, so he's feeling like Don Juan, feeling very good. But let's get up out of here, fellas. But before we get up out of here, we had a very special giveaway that we have lined up that Don Juan, he's about to get the wheels spinning for you guys. Giveaway, if you commented on the last video of what was your favorite game of the season, you automatically got it. Omar, Chris, did you guys put your favorite game of the season in there?
I didn't.
Well, I didn't want it to be rigged, you know what I mean? So
all right. They wanted to give it to somebody else. Look, these guys are true fans.
We're generous,
right?
man.
These guys are generous fans right
just
here.
Real quick, though, Triple M, my favorite game of the season was the Julius game winner in Miami.
I wouldn't expect anything else from you. I would not expect anything else from you.
One. Yeah.
That was fire. Don Juan, look, he got the wheels spinning right here.
Look at this.
Yeah. So Don Juan, do it for the people right here. Click to spin it. The first name, you get to pick the jersey of your choice. Don Juan, do the honors right there, man. Right here. Let's see.
I gotta use this. Oh,
this is nice.
Yeah. This is cool. Knicks
win. There we go.
Is that the winner? Knicks win 50. There you go.
Amelia B. Okay, congratulations.
Good shit, Amelia.
Amelia.
There you go.
Get to pick the jersey, so make sure to connect with us And congratulations to you. Clap it up right there. You get to pick the first jersey. Don Juan, spin it again there, man, so we could give second winner. For sure. Right there, yeah, y'all got to spin it for free right here, man. We give a free promo out here. Make sure to connect to Off the Ball, man. Give that. We'll use this little spin gut for you, man. Sure. We got a little lag in there. I got a little lag in there. That's the problem. Who won? Who won? I'm behind right. Ricardo Rodriguez, you win. Second jersey. So whatever Amelia don't pick, you get to pick right here's the jersey.
What are the options? What are the jersey options?
Jalen Brunson jersey.
Okay.
And a Julius Randle All NBA. I mean All NBA City Edition jersey right here.
Oh, you good either way. That's good. That's good.
Hey, smooth either way.
You know we gotta do it big, man, for Knicks fans and for Off the Ball. We only do things right. We only do things right. And I said it last time. You know, we do this for fun. We do this to connect with Knicks fans, and we met a lot of good people like the Off the Ball family and a lot of people on Knicks Twitter and Knicks Instagram and all that. So that's what it is. But yeah, man, let's get up out of here. Chris, any final words here as we get up out of here?
RJ Barrett. You know, prove me wrong, bro. Prove me wrong. That's all I'm saying. I don't want to trade you to Minnesota. You don't belong in Minnesota. It's too cold there. But you might have to be in Minnesota.
He's Canadian. He'll be all right.
I don't know about after Ant-Man's performance last night. Maybe, you know, we're not pushed that trigger yet, but
we're gonna send him to OKC.
Maybe OKC. I think Barrett feel perfect in OKC. That's a great fit. But prove me wrong, RJ, and all that. But this was fun, though. I appreciate you, Triple M, for having me on that.
Yeah, for sure. Thanks.
Off the Ball. The handles are right there. Off the Ball Pod and all that. Follow me. Talk basketball, anything, whatever. I'm talking all types of basketball, high school, college, NBA, Knicks, the whole shebang. So follow me there.
Yeah, man, for sure, man. Chris, we got to give you your flowers, man. You brought us all together here, and we appreciate that. We appreciate that here as we enter this Knicks matchup where we're going to be talking a lot of smack on the chat because there's a lot of Knicks haters there.
A lot of haters.
So we're going to be talking a lot of smack there. And thanks for leading the way. Thanks for leading the way. Omar, we've been connected for a long time, brother. So we definitely appreciate you for jumping on here on the Knicks playoff preview. What's your final thoughts?
Yeah, man. I'm just happy to be talking with you guys. You know, obviously connected with Triple M and Don Juan on multiple episodes before. Obviously, Chris brought me on to Off the Ball a little while back, just on the written side. So, been awesome to connect with everybody. You know, always a fun time on this pod. You know, always great takes, great time. You could always obviously follow me on Twitter at OmarZHRN. Catch my written pieces on OffTheBallNetwork.com. And you can also catch me on Medium as well for written articles also. Check out the podcast, Worldwide Knicks Podcast, on all platforms.
He got like 30 million subscribers on Medium.
Yeah, no, he's hey, man, if you had
legit, Omar is one of the best writers. I'm not even.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say.
No lie. I think you got people who aren't like big into reading. They're like, yo. Yeah. Omar wrote a banger, bro. I don't even read like that. And I'm like, I gotta read. And when I edit it, I'm like, I can't edit. It's perfect.
Yeah, I'm like that, man.
I'm like, oh, this is. I'm like published. I was like, I'm done.
Especially that Willis Reed. You gotta, if you're a Knicks fan, you got to check out that Willis Reed piece. It was just written perfectly.
There's people hit me up. You're like, yo, that was whoever your writer was. They're like, yo, that was a good one, man. They put that one felt good.
So you got to read that.
I appreciate that, guys.
Yeah, Don Juan, man.
You got to show flowers, man.
You have to. Don Juan, what you got to say before we get up out of here?
Well, don't forget it. I said Knicks in 5. So make sure y'all tape this now. Hold me accountable. Or if not, I'm tearing everybody ass up on Twitter talking about smack because I'm ready for it. But man, it was great to have y'all, man. It's great to be in the playoffs once again. Finally, we're here with an actual proven team that I feel like, you know, we might pull away with this one in this first round, especially. I mean, not Mike. I said 5, so we're gonna pull it out.
Say with your chest, man.
But you know, don't forget to subscribe. You know, first of all, I want to thank everybody that participated in this giveaway. You know, we worked real hard this year. We were grinding, putting in the time and work, and realistically, y'all inspire us to keep it going with this Knicks chatter, and now with the Knicks playoffs. I mean, we're just gonna keep the ball rolling and give y'all more and better content. But nonetheless, thank y'all once again. Thank you guys for joining us too. It was a great show. And winners, make sure to keep in touch. We need to, double check on that. Make sure to follow up. We're gonna do our investigation, but y'all need to help us out because it's
Yo,
gonna be a long weekend, especially with this whole Knicks playoffs coming up, man. Because we might get lost
yo.
in the sauce. I mean, I'm already on the flippy slippy.
You ready drinking something in that? I knew there was something in there. No.
You feel me?
I want to give you y'all flowers before M goes.
Oh man.
Y'all come a long way as content creators. I want to give y'all your props. You came a long way from that first episode to what y'all are now. Y'all building a nice little base. It's hard to stand out in a Knicks content world, right? We know there's a lot of monsters in the Knicks content space, and you guys have been able to do your thing, stand out a little bit, and all that, and keep getting better as creators. And I see the little things when you guys do shows, and you guys have definitely come a long way from episode one. I was on episode one.
Yeah, you was on episode one.
And we made this, right? We created, we were in the lab, we were trying to figure out so it could come out. I knew Triple M, we've been talking for a minute. I'm like, you definitely need to be on. And then you told Dawn, I was like, you guys, we got to figure this out. And we mapped out a plan, and y'all did it, and y'all been killing it since. So major props to you guys.
Appreciate you, brother. Appreciate
I
you.
appreciate it, man. For real. It's been a long road. I sometimes look at episode one and just laugh. I was in the
I laugh
dark.
at mine, bro.
I was in the dark in episode one, looking like I'm talking in a cave or something. And now look at me now.
But you learn, man. It's a progression, man. It's kind of like an art, right? Being like learning how to do the little things to run a show, right? We know the content, right? You know how to make content. You know what to talk about, but it's how to present it and all that. How to break it down. How to go from one point to the other without having too many the and the dead space and all that. So you guys have definitely.
Yeah, listen, Chris, you said it. Listen, not a lot of people do episode one, and you came on for the preseason, and you like, look, this is episode 30. Like, people don't make it there. So I appreciate it. We're gonna keep grinding. We're putting out a lot of funny content out here now, funny reels. That's what we do, man. This is it right here. Knicks fans wilding, man. This is what we do. We wild out, and it's just gonna get better right here as we get into the playoff. We're gonna keep wilding out. But shout out to everybody who participated. Shout out to Amelia and Ricardo who won the giveaway. And shout out to everybody who jumped on. Worldwide Knicks represented. Our boy Juan represented. Zebo in the comments all day represented. Everybody, man. I could go on and on and on. I appreciate y'all for jumping on, comments, little retweets, everything. That's so important. And playoffs start on Saturday, people. That's all we gotta say. Playoffs start on Saturday. Here we go. It's the real test. This next season is going a lot determined on this playoff run. So as we get up out of here, we're gonna keep on conversating, the conversation going, man. Shout out to y'all, man. We up out of here. Peace. Yes, sir.